So I did promise as well that I would tell you how you can become a licensed practitioner. Now, there are a number of ways to becoming a licensed practitioner with me, and I've tried to make it as easy and as affordable as possible for you all. Step one, I've created a number of videos which sit on a portal, if you like, a course portal. There are videos and the manual is in there and some materials to help you with your learning, including all of the handouts that you will need when we actually do the face-to-face sessions. And they're all online, and the videos shouldn't take you much more than an hour in total to do, but this means that we don't have to go through all the background to motivational maps, and you can have a bit more of an understanding before you come to the session, which means we can really get into it quite quickly in terms of actually starting to use the tool. Step two is attendance at 2 sessions online that I run via Zoom. So in this same way, and I keep the numbers relatively small, about a maximum of 12, so that I can make sure that I get round to everybody. And then once you've done that, then we have step 3, which is as part of your investment in Motivational Maps, you get a number of maps with it, and I ask you to debrief 2 of them with me before you go and debrief them with your client. So let your client do the questionnaire and then debrief them with me, so that we can both make sure that you're comfortable and have got everything that you can out of the maps. The maps are very simple at a top level, but the more that you work with them, then the more that you can get out of them. So in terms of the investment is £850 plus VAT if it's applicable upfront. It includes 9 maps, which you can sell and then recoup most of the investment in the course. The next course is on the 25th and 26th of June, and you still have time to get on it. This one's going to run from 9 AM to 3 PM UK time on the 25th. Of June, and from 9 AM to about 1 PM on the 26th of June. And if you're interested, then please drop me a line at sonia@discoveryourmotivationtoday.com so that I can send you all of the information, and we can get things going so that you've got time to go through the videos. As I say, they won't take very long before the actual date. There are going to be more courses running throughout this year and at different times for those of you who aren't maybe in Europe. So you can see I've tried to make it as simple and easy and cost-effective for you to participate. I've done it online so that you don't have to factor in the time of traveling to any destination, maybe staying overnight and paying for all of those costs. So this you can do from the comfort of your own home, but we will be face-to-face like this, and Zoom is a wonderful platform to be able to do breakout groups and practice giving feedback, and it allows me to pop into the groups and stuff, so it works really, really well. And the 9 maps means that you can recoup just about all of that investment that you will be making in the maps. So if you want any more details, please email me, drop me a line at sonia@discoveryourmotivationtoday.com, and I will send them to you. So in terms of the questions, let me just have a look, because I have got a couple of questions here. Hold on. Okay, so I've got a question which I was asked the other day, and this could be useful for you. So Claire said, Sonia, I believe that all of these tools have a place, but but in coaching, my sense is that it takes away my client's authority as it positions me as the expert, and that's not what I want. And Claire said this because she'd also heard me say that this is the first time really that I am in any way leading with a tool, because I've always felt I'm qualified in a number of tools. I'm qualified in Myers-Briggs, in StrengthScope, in True Colors, DISC, a number of them. And I do find them all super useful, and they have a place. And when it comes to working with anybody, but in the work that I do with leaders, helping them become more self-aware is critical. So these tools have a place, but I have always felt that I couldn't lead with them, because in a way I agree with Claire in that a lot of the reports and things that come back from these tools make it that my client can't really understand them without me there, and that's not really how I want to start off my relationship with them. So unless this is part of a leadership development program where everyone's going through a suite of tools and they're going to get some feedback on them, then I tend to not use them until we hit a point in the coaching where my client needs some data, needs some information, and then we contract to do that. But what I've found with motivational maps is that actually it empowers my clients. It is such a simple tool to do. It takes 10 minutes. The language is really accessible, and then the language in the report that comes back is super accessible too. So I had a situation not that long ago with somebody who had done some coaching with someone and had filled out an intake pack, so all of their details and a wheel of life, and done some other exercises and things, and then she came to me for something different, and I got her to try a map, and her comment to me was that she felt that the intake pack was more for the coach, but that this was more for her. So this empowered her to come to our coaching conversation with more of an understanding of what was driving her. Therefore, she was able to set better goals for the coaching even. And then when we spoke about the maps and I did part of the feedback, it was done very much in a coaching way, and it was almost like the map had empowered her, actually given her some knowledge in a very easily digestible way that she could bring to the coaching, and which she couldn't bring before. So actually I think that the maps empower your clients rather than not. Excuse me looking down, but I've got another question here. Peter said, you mentioned that you can use this to measure results from the coaching. How? Okay, so the maps are situational. So it's not like you're going to have one profile and that's it. So you can do the maps today and they will say one thing according to where you are today, and then you can do the maps in 6 months' time and they could say something different. So a way to use the maps is to use them right at the beginning, and then 6 months in, if that's the lead time for the coaching, whatever it is, do them again and measure the changes. So if somebody is working on actually on feeling better at work, feeling more engaged, if they're working on, I'll give you my example. So I was working on promoting myself more, and getting out there and getting more clients, if you like, getting more work and promoting myself more. But my star, which is all about external recognition, was my lowest motivator. It's not at a point where it demotivates me, but it's definitely not why I get up in the morning. Whereas my top motivators are about making a difference, about creating community, and about freedom and independence. So with my coach, what we worked on was how could I reframe how I thought about putting myself out there to enable me to actually get round to it, because it just kept dropping down my to-do list. Anything that had anything to do with getting out there and talking to people kept dropping down my to-do list. So we reframed it so that I could think of getting out there and naming lights, if you like, but in a different way. And the way that I was thinking about it was, well, if I do that, then I can make more of a difference. If I do that, I can create a community. And if I do that, I can secure my independence and my freedom. When I then did the maps 6 months later, not only had I got out there more, but my star had moved from right down the bottom to fourth, which meant that it was driving me more. So actually doing more of this was driving me more. So that's one way, if you like, that you can use it, and you can measure the results in that way. I also had one of my clients at a local jewelers who we did this with the team. And one of her team, her motivation was quite low. So it was in the 40%, something like that. They put some things in place. They changed, they worked together to see what it was that wasn't driving her, what the conditions were. And without going into details, they changed some things around. And it was the lady whose motivation was low who actually asked to do another map because she knew that she felt different, that they put all of these things in place, and she knew that she felt different and she wanted to see it on paper. So we then did it, and her motivational map score, her personal motivational audit score, was in the high 70s. So that was a huge jump, and I don't think it was even 6 months, and that was just by changing some of the conditions, some of the ways that she worked to suit her, what drove her. And it wasn't anything that the business had to do dramatically different either. I can give you one example. She works in the back, isn't on the shop floor, but the owner had given her a uniform, because she'd given everybody a uniform, and it was like a gift. But this made her feel her high motivation for being independent and being free, it felt compromised. So it was a case of literally during the team thing, well, don't wear the uniform. You're not on the shop floor, it's fine. I thought you'd like it. Just little things like that. It's about real understanding. So you can measure the level of motivation before, the level of motivation after. You can do this with teams. This is why I think it's a really useful tool to use in any engagement program, because this measures the temperature, if you like, and people can take responsibility for their own motivation once they know what it is that drives them. And I think I've got one more question. Yeah. So is this tool just for a work context? Well, the language in the questions is a little bit sort of work related, but I've used it with my son. And I also used it today with somebody who is in a work context, but I used it today in a very different way. Beautiful lady that I was coaching and working with today had been feeling a little bit lacking energy, and she knew, she said to me, Sonia, the problem is that I'm not committed. I keep saying I'm going to exercise more, and I just don't get round to it. So we did a bit of coaching around, you know, what it was that was stopping her, and really, you know, why she wasn't doing it. And then I reminded her of her motivators, the things that drive her. And her top motivator is expert, which is about learning new things. Suddenly she went, oh, I could do a new sport. I could do tennis. I could do salsa dancing. And then that means that I could, her third highest motivator is star, which is about being in the limelight. And she says, and then I could do salsa dancing at a party and be the star of the party. We both burst out laughing, but actually it was like a realization. And she even said the words, this is not just for work, is it? You can apply it to anything. And yes, you can. So and that was a lovely moment. So I'm really looking forward to seeing some videos of her at a party, or maybe she'll invite me to the party and I can watch her salsa dance. So those are the questions that I have. I don't think I've got any more questions here. So I did also promise in the videos that anybody who came along and was on the Q&A, but what I'm going to do as well is post this recording, hopefully, if it's recorded, and then I'll give you a few days. I'll put the details on the recording. So anyone who by the end of next week, so books to come on the course, rather than paying $850 upfront, you can pay it in 2 installments. And if you email me at sonia@discoveryourmotivationtoday.com, I'll give you the details. So it'll be, I won't add anything on. It'll be 2 payments of £425 plus VAT. That will still include the 9 maps, and hopefully it'll help you make the decision to come and do it with me. So if there's nothing more, I think, so thank you for being with me, and give me an email, and I look forward to seeing you on one of my courses. Thanks.